Hello and welcome to episode 9 of A Football Chat Show. Um, Again, another interesting week in football. It seems that this week's just throwing up interesting weeks over and over again, which is always good. I mean, it's never a bad thing, but gives us a lot to talk about. But it gives us too much to talk about. Anyway, I'm joined again with Jamie. I think he's in a slightly better mood this week after some good results for United, you could say.
Oh fuck! No, not having that. No.
Well, no. The Saturday was. Let's be honest. Let's not beat around the bush. It was a good result. We'll go straight into it. Saturday. It's the biggest result of the weekend, isn't it? Manchester United 3, Tottenham Hotspur 0, or the other way around. A game that was dubbed as the El Sacchio, and it ended up actually being a sacking. I didn't actually think either of them would. Well, to be fair, I think if Ole had, he would have obviously got into the international break as we discussed last week. But I didn't think they'd actually bite the bullet on Nuno, but they did. I mean, it was a good game. Apart from when you scored, like it killed it off. Tottenham kind of didn't really have much after that, did they? Before you scored, it was kind of like you were the better team.
Yeah, I don't think at any point in that game I thought we weren't the better team.
No. I mean, again, let's have a little talk about it. We don't have to go too much into detail because, again, it was kind of the 3 goals were the really main talking points.
I've opened the document from last week to see all of our score predictions quickly. You put 2-0, I put 3-1, so same score same thing. If you combined both of ours, we'd have got it. But
very good scoreline we'd have had then, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But no, it was a good game. Ronaldo, obviously.
Played really well. He was really good.
Really good. I mean, his goal was just outrageous, wasn't it? The volley, coming over his shoulder. Like, do you know what? I watched it live, and I remember going like, I went, "Whoa, what a goal!" Because it almost doesn't look like he's going to kick it, and then he kicks it, and it's like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like he has no backlift. Like it's a great strike. Up until then, though, what kind of happened in the game? Like I don't remember it much.
I mean, the big thing going into it, and I'd heard rumors before the game, is that we were going to play a back 3/5. And I mean, fine. I'm fine with changing tactics to get out of a rut. I mean, Conte probably is famous for it with Chelsea. You know, when he got battered by Arsenal and then changed system and won the league. That's not going to happen to us, by the way. Before
no, it might, but no, it won't because Conte's gone.
But as I said last week, having Varane back was massive.
Yeah, it was big.
He's so silky, and now he's out for a month again, which is great.
Yeah.
But he's silky as all hell. The good thing is though, international breaks, we can't go off and fucking suffer with France, so that's good. But he was brilliant. Harry Maguire wasn't very good and hasn't been very good since Leicester, in which he was awful. I think that, I mean, we played well, but it was overstated by the fact that Spurs were abysmal.
Yeah, they were. Under Nuno, they were really bad.
They didn't have a shot on target the whole game.
It's just criminal, isn't it?
Harry Kane wasn't there. He hasn't been there in the Premier League all season. They were, I mean, it is strange looking at his stats because he's scored 15 goals this season and one in the league.
It's a bit of a Euros hangover, isn't it? They've kind of, a couple of the England players played a lot of the Euros are kind of having a bit of a hangover.
Two of the United players.
I was going to say Shaw and Maguire are kind of struggling with that hangover. Kane as well. I mean, Sterling to an extent, he was quite heavily involved in England. And I mean, Grealish, he wasn't as heavily involved. He's getting a lot more game time than he is. So that could be a factor. Because, I mean, that final must have taken a lot out of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the main points to take away are Ronaldo is still very good at football.
I texted you, didn't I?
Yeah.
What a goal when you just went, he's not bad, is he?
Yeah. Even his assist, the weight on the pass for Cavani's goal is unbelievable.
Really good pass.
And he also scored an absolute rocket that was offside.
Yeah, tight though, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely offside, but the way that he finished it, I was like, Lloris doesn't know at this point that he's off, and he just looks at it.
Yeah, it's good
because he comes off his foot like an absolute bullet. That was a shame that was offside because that would have been quite cool. But anyway, he's very good at football. Cavani is a player that I wish we'd signed when he was like in his pomp.
Yeah.
Because like he's brilliant now. Like he's got the work rate of like any midfield engine that you'd want.
Yeah.
And plays up front, so that's good. But I think so that's the good stuff. And the problems with the game were that Tottenham was shit. So, swings and roundabouts. And also we now are playing a formation that wide players other than fullbacks don't play in. So you're missing out on, and I'm not saying necessarily this season and next season, you're missing out on Amad Diallo, you're missing out on Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood potentially, probably Jesse Lingard because he probably plays him more on the wing than he does in the middle now. Yeah. So you've got like 6 players there competing for no positions. So that's a problem, especially when you signed one of them for 75 million in the summer. And it's really beginning to frustrate me because I spent 2 years waiting for Jadon Sancho to wear a red shirt, and now we're just not playing him. I'm not going to say that he's lit up the world the minutes that he has played, because he hasn't. But you can't just expect a player to come onto the pitch and
without me. I know. I think you'll agree with me. Without sounding like I'm just going at Ollie all the time, it's the sign of a potentially like quite premature manager. Mm-hmm. I think if you look at Klopp, you look at Guardiola, you look at Tuchel, they don't play the players unless they fit their system 100%. And I'm not saying that that's Sancho or Ole's fault. I think that it's more like you've brought Sancho, you need to get him up to speed with that kind of counter-attacking flow, because without disrespecting Dortmund, they're going to have a lot more of the ball against certain teams than you are at United. Even those teams like the Leicesters, like your Brightons this season, your West Hams, you're going to have a lot more of the ball against them than Dortmund are going to have against a majority of the teams in the Bundesliga. Do you know what I mean? So Sancho's not necessarily used to that. And I think that the physicality of the Premier League is a lot more than people expect, I think, as well. And I'm not saying he's a weak player, but it's definitely something that can catch you off guard. And you just need 2-3 months to just adjust. You know what I mean? You just need to get into training.
You saw it with Timo Werner and Kai Havertz last year. I mean, exactly the same scenario. Yeah. They come in from the Bundesliga and struggled under a manager that wasn't ideal, and they switch it up and he's fine. But my problem with it is he's been brought in for a system that was 4-2-3-1 for, well, that's pretty much what he's played for 2 years. I mean, he has played back threes before. I mean, we beat PSG last season with a back three. It's probably our best back three performance we've had.
That was Tuanzebe, in it.
Yeah, it was Tuanzebe and Luke Shaw playing as centre backs. But predominantly a 4-2-3-1 with wide midfielders, which is what we've brought Jadon Sancho in, because we haven't had a right winger for years.
Exactly, yeah.
And then because your job's in threat, you change system to something that just doesn't accommodate your players, which is frustrating. And then, I mean, we'll talk about Champions League a bit later, but when we brought on Donny van der Beek and Jadon Sancho for the last 4 minutes, and they were the reason we scored. So they're players that need to play more. And now we play in a formation that, and if he carries on with it, we play in a formation they just don't work in. So there's positives from the game.
Yeah.
We won and we kept a clean sheet. But there's issues.
Yeah, still. Exactly. Yeah. I think ironically it's not United that are the big talking point here, because I think a lot of the focus of you switched on Monday morning and Sunday afternoon as well, when it kind of rumored that Nuno was going to get the sack, because I think everyone expected it, but maybe not this week, because it almost felt like if Spurs had got 2 bad results similar to you, as in if you had got bad result against Spurs, bad result midweek, bad result weekend, if they bit the bullet, it's what's it called, international break, and you could almost have a fight over Conte, because it still looks like Ole could be having a little bit of trouble. But yeah, so Spurs, as we mentioned already, were rubbish, like really poor once the goal went in. Harry Kane, nowhere to be seen, shadow of himself. Son, again, not great. Mora,
Son was their only player that showed any kind of,
and Lucas Moura kind of gives you.
And they brought him off, and everyone's very angry.
Isn't he? He's just direct. He gets the ball and runs, and a lot of people like that. Pardon me, but yeah. So, and then Nuno obviously got sacked. I think I don't think anyone expected it to be Conte. Like, genuinely, I don't think anyone expected it to be Conte the moment Nuno was sacked. It was kind of like, my first thought was, okay, they sacked Nuno. Like, who is available? Because I even thought there's no way it's Conte. Do you know what I mean?
I guess, but then it became very obvious to me very quickly that United weren't interested. So
Yeah,
I think if we really were interested and we'd made any contact with him, there's no chance he would have gone to Spurs.
yeah. But this is what I'm saying. This is kind of my other point, is if he even had a sniff of, well, it's similar to yours. If he had a sniff of United, would he not have gone like, United's all I want, and publicly made that clear? Do you know what I mean? And almost like, what's changed within the last 2 weeks for him to go, I'm never joining a club mid-season, to two clubs who are underperforming.
Maybe he's bored, mate. I don't know.
He might be. But no, what do you kind of see happening?
Well, I think the reason that he might have turned it around is that Spurs' new was he footballing director, sporting director?
Patrici. Is that how you pronounce it? Probably
worked with him. Yeah, no, it is. Worked with him at Juventus.
Oh, Juve, sorry, of course.
So that, I mean, it's always good to have someone in the club that you've worked with before and were successful with.
Yeah.
So as much as he turned him down in the summer when he was there, I don't think Conte, I don't think Spurs, and I don't think Patrici would have expected them to go through that list of managers and fail to get all of them.
Yeah, I'm not buying his excuse for not going in the summer either.
What did he say?
He goes, it was too fresh, my relationship with Inter Milan.
Yeah.
What? Sorry. Do you know what I mean? Like,
look, Spurs are going to pay him a shit ton of money. They've given him a shorter contract, which is smart.
I saw a really good thing. I think Masad Desai put it on his story, and it was like Mourinho and Conte having a little chat, and it was like, they pay you loads of money to join, they pay you loads of money to leave, and you don't even have to win a trophy. It's amazing.
It's win-win, isn't it?
Like, it's amazing, yeah.
But no, it's a really, really good pickup for them. I mean, they've had world-class managers before.
So ironically, well, not ironically, well, they're not going to win the league.
No.
They're out of the cup, I want to say, or no, they've got West Ham in the next round. They've got West Ham in the next round. They're really struggling in the Conference League.
Conte's not great in Europe either, is he?
And really? This is it. So is a domestic cup enough?
No, top four's enough.
But they're not going to get top four.
Why not?
Because they have not got a good enough squad.
No, but they have the best manager other than the top three.
I just don't think it does. I don't think that matters. Like,
I do. I think if United don't get their shit together, then we are struggling.
I think West Ham are the team that are knocking on that door right now. They are right now, mate. They're really
well, right now good. They are, but we're still only 10 games into the season.
But my other thing was, so the Europa League hangover happens whenever. Like, it happens the first weekend of Europe, because they're going to Genk. They've been to they've had 2 other away days already. They'd have had a hangover, but they haven't. They've come out of Europe and won a lot of the time, and they've kept pace with those top 4, and they've already pulled away from that pack. I think they're in with a conversation of top 4, and I think out of the other teams, they've got the biggest shout, because I think we're disregarding Arsenal. I think Arsenal have got a good chance of it.
Top 4. You think Arsenal have more of a chance of top 4 than Spurs do?
Right this second, the form Spurs are in, even with a new manager, they're still not in good form. Do you know what I mean? Because
I know, if Conte isn't, he's the type of manager that's just going to kick him up the arse. There's no way they're going to.
I don't know that, but so if they don't win their game on Thursday and don't win against Everton on Sunday,
they'll beat Everton.
They should. But again, it's one of those games that if Everton win, because they're under pressure, 3 in a row losses.
Yeah,
Rafa's
he's
got
had a full week of training.
We're not a full, because they won't have trained today.
Much. Why not?
Because it's game tomorrow.
Oh, who are they playing?
Their Conference League. I don't know. Some farmers.
Malmo. No,
I think it's
Champions League. What am I talking about?
I think it's Vitesse from.
Oh, they're right in the Eredivisie, right?
Eredivisie, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
or
right.
a team like that.
Yeah. Okay. So a marginal team.
I think it's interesting because it either goes they're really successful, they top 4 solidify it, or it's kind of like teething season, and then next season he brings in 2 signings that he really wants. Do you know what I mean? Which I think is going to be the big thing, isn't it? The transfers, because he always likes to bring in players that he wants to work with.
Yeah, I mean? He's really demanding on the club,
which is going to be interesting to see. Because I mean, at Chelsea, he kind of worked with what he got. He made Victor Moses and Marcus Alonso the 2 deadliest fullbacks.
That's the reason he left, isn't it? I mean, he's left every club because the board wouldn't do what he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets along with Levy.
Well, to be fair, that's a really well-run club. To be fair,
is it
I'll take Levy anytime, any day.
Under Poch, they didn't make a signing for 2 years, and he was banging on the door of like potentially winning a big trophy with them. Top three back to back. They came third in a 2-horse race, yes, but they were still a good squad at the time, considering the squads around them weren't great. And then they hit a Champions League final, and he didn't sign a player for 2 years.
All I'm saying is, right, Mourinho didn't moan about his signings too much, and he moans a lot if people don't sign players he wanted. And they backed Nuno into this summer. I think fairly, to be honest, they brought in a decent amount of players.
Yeah, I think their summer transfers were not for Nuno though. I think they were for Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the time you can go, that's a Nuno signing, that's a Mourinho signing. Do you know what I mean? So I think, but Mourinho didn't have anything to moan about because of COVID. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like if he goes, oh, they've not signed anyone, all the Spurs fans will go, hang on, mate, we've just gone for a pandemic. Do you know what I mean? Not that it affects them, but it's an easy way for them to turn their back on Mourinho. And they tried to claim money
off the government, so
exactly. No, but it's ridiculous. Again, this Conte one is obviously split us. I didn't think it actually would have. I thought we would have potentially both have a similar opinion, but it's obviously we've both got different opinions on it, which is quite interesting.
The thing is, I wouldn't have been that happy if United had got him, because I
don't think it would have been a good appointment. I think Zidane's a perfect appointment, but a lot of people tend to disagree with me.
I worry about Zidane a bit, because it's difficult to say that you worry about Zidane because he won 3 fucking Champions League in a row.
This is what I'm saying. But, my dad's like, he doesn't speak English, he's going to struggle. I'm like, I don't think that matters. If you can get your message across and you get them playing how you want them to play, I don't think that matters. He's got the centre-back one of the centre-backs that won him 3 Champions Leagues and Ronaldo. What more does he need?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? That's all.
It won't be that. If
it'll be Poch when he gets sacked.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a really interesting conversation to have when we lose against City at the weekend.
But I don't think it will be, because I mean, as I said, we might have to hang about to see how long it takes them to sack him if they're going to sack him. If not, we'll have to do an impromptu midweek one.
The thing is, you're never going to get a better chance in the international break.
No, so exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's so perfect. It's weird because, I mean, no, I can't say that. I was going to say you almost want to lose, but you never want to lose. It doesn't matter what situation you're managing. You never want to lose against your biggest rivals, do you?
No. Well, we already did that. We beat Leeds, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's Liverpool, Leeds, City. City third, Leeds second. Liverpool.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's an interesting 10 days coming up.
But for me, I think Spurs have got a massive dub there.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I'm very impressed by, as I said on Twitter, Levy must talk, and Patrici. Like Levy must be like a sweet talker to get Mourinho and Conte within the 4 years or 2-3 years of each other. Do you know
Mourinho,
what I mean?
I don't know, because he's at Roma now, isn't he? So,
but my whole point with Mourinho is like the fact that he's got that association with Chelsea and Spurs, and I think Mourinho's quite like a football man. Do you know what I mean? Like he wouldn't manage City.
No, I don't think
so. So this is why. Like it's surprising he managed United.
Is though. I don't think Pep is, so we'll get Pep. How about that?
There you go, sorted. No, but no, it's an interesting 10 days. And I mean, we need to just look at the 3 o'clock fixtures that happened, the big ones, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. I was going to say Newcastle, but they're not a big 7 team yet, are they?
None of us got any of these right, unfortunately.
No, I mean, not surprisingly, it's good that we didn't get them right. I mean, the only one we predicted
We've both gotten one right last week, by the way. I'll tell you which when we get to them, yeah. But
oh, cool. Anyway, the 3 o'clock ones, we can talk about them all simultaneously because they all have quite a big 3 ramifications for each other. Chelsea beat Newcastle 3-0. It was at St James's Park, I believe. Liverpool drew 2-2 at Anfield to Brighton, and Manchester City lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I didn't expect that one.
A crazy result. Neither of us expected that. I didn't expect it even when they went to 10 men, even when they were 1-0 down, 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go. You never expect it. But let's start on the Chelsea one. It's the easiest one to do. Kind of routine, isn't it? Easy win away at Newcastle. Newcastle really struggling. Speaking to my dad earlier, saying their biggest thing is still staying in the league. They need to get a manager in the international break, sharpish, who wants to be there and the players want there.
Have you seen not tangent because it is Newcastle, that Nicolas Soulé really wants to sign for Newcastle.
Really?
He wants to leave Bayern for free in the summer and go to Newcastle.
Interesting. Well, I've heard that apparently they've got tabs on Rudiger as well, because
he's
leaving. His contract's ending.
Perfect link.
Perfect link. Oh mate. Oh my god. No, yeah, it'll be really interesting. I mean, if they go down. So I was saying to my dad, if they go down, the 3-year project becomes a 5 or 6 year project, because you've got to get back into the Premier League first time of asking, which they will because they'll throw money at it. But then once you're in the Premier League, you've got to stay in the Premier League for a season, and then your project can start again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they go down, they're in big trouble. If they stay up, they can sign get these signings in.
I mean, look, they've got one of two spaces to not go down, because Norwich are down. So
yeah, I mean they are, aren't they?
You've just got to fill the other two spaces with teams that aren't them.
You've got to hope Watford don't kick on, and you've got to hope Burnley kind of drop this form they're in at the moment, because Burnley are looking all right.
Leeds are looking bad though.
I still don't think Leeds.
I don't think they will, but they're not looking good.
We could be sat here at Christmas and go, and Leeds are struggling big time. Do you know what I mean? They've got a few injuries that have knocked them, of course.
Yeah, I mean the Christmas table will be interesting, because the Christmas table
that kind of gives you a really good. I still don't. In years gone by, you'd have said top of the league wins it at Christmas most of the time.
It does
this year it could be one of three, and it will be one of those three guaranteed. Like it will be Chelsea, City, or Liverpool will win the league, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And if Liverpool are top, I'm not saying anything, because I know we've dropped it from there in the past. You know what I mean? Anyway, it takes us quite nicely onto Liverpool, who drew 2-2 to Brighton. 2-0 up, looking routine. Good goal from Henderson and a very good goal from Sadio Mane. And then Brighton get into it at half time with a good goal from Mwep. First goal in the Premier League for him, I believe.
Banger, I think.
And then the second half, Brighton just turned into, I don't even know, prime Barcelona, prime Real Madrid, all of it mixed into one. Really good. They flocked forward like seagulls in formation.
My question to you about Brighton, right? I've been thinking about this, because Graham Potter won't stay there for the next, I'm going to say 3 years, right? Because he's too good.
Yeah, definitely.
to be stuck in, from your 10 to 5, I'd say, in the table where Brighton should sit at any point.
If they get Europe, is that not like a good enough reason to stay?
So massive. Yeah, you'd stay the next season, but then I think once you've done that, you've hit your ceiling a bit with Brighton. So potentially, do you try and take over? Saying the words City sounds stupid, but Pep is going to leave.
I don't think it is that stupid.
Who says no? Probably City fans, but yeah. Why would you? Because he's brilliant. I think he's really good.
I mean,
England. What about England?
England. There we go. I don't think it's every manager's dream to do national though, because you don't get the players for them. And also, you've only got those players who were born in England. That sounds really stupid, but you can't buy anyone.
2 years time. I mean, this generation of England players is like cream of the crop, right?
Yeah.
Get Southgate out. Boring. I think football.
Bring
Graham Potter in. Oh, can you imagine?
I tend to agree.
Saucy football with some of the sauciest English players we've ever had.
I think
I just got myself excited about something that probably won't happen.
I think Southgate's gone after the World Cup, so
it'll be Frank Lampard.
Probably. Anyway, Brighton turned us over in the second half. I mean, there was a accumulation of things. Liverpool's midfield was severely weakened, and they just looked very mishapped. Henderson got a bit attacked by Liverpool fans, and I don't think it was really fair. I mean, I didn't watch the game because it was on at 3:00, so I can't always watch illegal screens because I'm a little bit worried about getting about 45 viruses on my computer. But Henderson got a little bit attacked by Liverpool fans. He was kind of all over the place at points, but it was because his midfield wasn't good enough. Ox and Curtis Jones really didn't put in a shift, and then Konate went a little bit wandering at points. Saying this, a lot of the Liverpool fans were very reactionary, I thought, towards the result. They were not happy. They were like, can't drop these stupid points when City drops points, but we still picked up a point when City didn't. There's definitely points to be taken off City. We know that now. And there's definitely points to be taken off Chelsea. It's just a matter of time. They just need to play a team like a Burnley like a Southampton, maybe. I think they've played Southampton already, but like a team like that that's going to take a chance in the game early on and put Chelsea under pressure and force them to come out and be creative, which Chelsea, I mean, they score a lot of goals, but aren't necessarily a creative team in that sense. They don't necessarily. I've got to tread it lightly here, but I can
just see them plodding along.
And again, I can see that as well, but I definitely think there are points to be taken off of them from teams like what I've mentioned, like a Brighton, for example.
Chelsea have got to be beaten once for it to happen again. So you just got to hope that
they have to beat
does it.
They lost to City.
That doesn't really count.
But yeah, exactly.
City.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we move on to City, who lost to Crystal Palace, who a result I don't think anyone saw coming.
No,
but again, it's not too surprising because Palace have looked very decent. They've had a couple of results nicked away from them right at the death this season.
Yeah.
Vieira's gotten playing really well. Benteke looks really good. Gallagher, Zaha, Edouard when he's played. Eze's coming back from injury, which is very exciting for Crystal Palace fans because he's a very, very tidy little player, isn't he?
Agreed.
So yeah, again, I think unfortunately we can't do them enough justice because again, we can't watch all these games and they're on at this was on at 3:00, so we just can't access it very easily at all.
Yeah. Not going to risk the integrity of my laptop for Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Sorry guys. But no, I mean, credit to them, turn City over in their backyard, Laporte getting suspended. And it kind of leads us on to the end of the weekend. A few other good results in there. I'll just throw them in there. We're not going to talk about them. But Burnley won 3-0 against Brentford and Wolves beat Everton 2-1. So yeah, and then takes on to the Champions League. And we'll have a look at that. We'll probably only do 2 of the fixtures and we don't need to go too in depth to them. The one being Manchester United again.
We both predicted our games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I put 2-2 for us and you put 2-0 for you. So
that's quite impressive, isn't it?
we know. It's all up here.
Liverpool are going to beat West Ham 7-0 on Sunday. There we go. Put it into the ether already. Okay, so the 2-2. I saw all of United's goals.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 of them. Both of them good goals, especially the first one. Lovely layoff from Fernandes. Great finish from Ronaldo.
Do you know what? I think the best part of that goal is the Greenwood pass, but it's kind of obstructed in all the camera.
yeah, but he fizzes it in, doesn't he?
Fizzes it in. Yeah. So strong deja vu in this game because scored quite early on. But both their goals were poor from us, right? So I can't remember which way around they are, but one of them, Harry Maguire, is stood like 4 yards behind our line, so keeps Zapata onside, and then does this thing where he like plods along and throws his arm up. So he's off, and he's just
not. Yeah, that was the second one because I remember watching that going like he's well off, doesn't matter, and then they've given it, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no, I didn't think he was off. I saw it and was like, nah, he's on. The first one's De Gea. I feel so bad for the bloke because David has been our Premier League player of the season so far, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Man United Twitter account will disagree with me because everyone and their nan votes for Cristiano Ronaldo in everything because, you know, it's like when you put Mo Salah
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, all the Egyptians come.
Yeah.
That sounds really bad, but they
no. It's like that. It's just like, but you put Ronaldo's name in a poll, and all of the Portuguese Real Madrid fans and not Juventus fans, but Real Madrid fans will download our app and vote for him, even when he doesn't deserve it. So actually, David Gea should have been player of the month last month, but he wasn't. So it's disappointing for him to concede a goal like that. It's his first mistake leading to a goal this year, I think.
It's a bit harsh. Comes out of a lot of bodies.
Yeah. I think there was like a call for it to be offside because, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It's never offside for me, but that's disappointing. Second goal is disappointing because Harry Maguire is shit at the moment.
Lacking a bit of confidence.
Yeah. And then Ronaldo just turns it on whenever he gets the ball.
That second goal is again just so instinctive. No back left, great volley into the bottom corner.
Oh man, yeah, it's just such a good finish. It's so easy to just think that's easy.
That's normal, yeah. It's not. Not many players in the world can do that.
You put all the other 10 even 20. You put all the other 21 players on that pitch in that position, only he scores. Maybe Greenwood, actually.
I was going to say, maybe Greenwood has a chance.
But none of the other players score that. It's a brilliant finish. My favourite part of that goal, though, have you seen the BT pundits' reactions to it?
No, I haven't.
It's brilliant. It's so good. Because the first goal, they're quite understated. Like, Rio Ferdinand's always like more, into it than Paul Scholes is ever going to be. But Rio like jumps up and claps for the first goal. And so Paul Scholes claps the first goal as well. And then for the second goal, Rio like bounces up and goes, he's an alien. That should be illegal how he does that. Every week he does it. That's what he's there. And then Paul Scholes, legit, right? I'm going to do an impression for you. He's sat like this, back on his chair. The goal goes in and he goes, oh my God. Like that. Because like there's just we should have lost the game.
Yeah.
Right. Simple as that, really. I think the Atalanta manager put it into the best like thing. He was just like, yeah, they were all out of steam in the second half. They were done, but we played against a player that you just can't play against.
Yeah, that's going to be my next question. What was the 90 as a whole like? Was it a good performance? Was it?
No, it was really bad. Really bad. Really, really bad.
I mean, I watched it. I just was a little bit drunk, so I don't remember all of it.
If you right. Our season so far is that Gattuso meme,
Sometimes it may be good.
Maybe good, sometimes it may be shit.
But it's just
most
that,
of the time.
But it's just that all the time maybe shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really disappointing because you come off a game that was tactically really well played from Ollie, which is a Spurs game.
Yeah.
And then you come into this game and it's all over the place. Because when you take off Varane, you're losing that real quality at centre back, which was a problem. But we also went back to a back four when he came off, which I think was a mistake because the back three wasn't the reason we conceded. It was an individual mistake.
Yeah.
Both times, pretty much. So going back to the back four, I think bottled it a little bit. I wouldn't have brought on Greenwood. I'd have probably brought on Tellez or
I said that.
Because then you can just shove Luke Shaw into left centre back and carry on.
Just let him
was brilliant.
Just let Luke Shaw kind of defend and not worry about going forward too much. You know what I mean?
Because Eric Bailly was brilliant, just throws himself in front of everything. He's an absolute mentalist. If you don't follow No Context Eric Bailly on Twitter, do it. It's fucking brilliant. But he was great. But I think we bottled it a bit, bringing Greenwood on, which sounds strange, but I mean, he did make the first goal. But and then, as I alluded to earlier, we were saved by Donny van der Bench and Jadon Sancho. Who are our two players that are really proficient in breaking down a low block. You get them on. Donny van der Beek dribbles a little bit, passes to Jadon Sancho, who dribbles a little bit. A couple of pinball-y bits later, and the ball's in the
for sure.
So you just need to get these players on earlier.
Yeah.
Then you give yourself a chance of winning the game.
You need to figure out how to get these all into a system that suits them, and you can drop one, bring one in, rotate quite nicely.
It shouldn't be that difficult because two of our strikers are their combined age is 70. You can't play them every game.
No, so but you can rotate them quite nicely.
Yeah.
And they're similar. I mean, Cavani presses a lot more than Ronaldo does. So you get that. So in a game, perhaps when you need that, you play them both. In a game where you want to give Ronaldo a little bit of rest, you give Cavani minutes. Van der Beek and Fernandes can probably be quite interchangeable in terms of they're both kind of similar. They like beating a man, playing a pass. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The only problem with that is when we've done that before, and we have last season, is Donny doesn't grab a game by the scruff of its neck like Bruno will.
But then if you've got Donny, you can play a Greenwood and a Rashford next to him.
Pogba can fuck off, actually. Pogba can bugger off, and we'll just play him instead because he was so shit yesterday, honestly. He just doesn't, I don't think his head's all there.
His head's gone in it. It's completely gone.
Yeah.
Because he was hoping that the Liverpool result would get Ole gone, and it's not. And he's like, wait, what? Sorry. What
I did message you, and I did say, it feels like last week we were shit against Atalanta and then had to play against a really good team at the weekend. I wonder if we'll get smashed.
It's literally the same thing, isn't it?
The only difference is City haven't been as good as you have been leading up to the game.
They smacked Bruges tonight, but it's Bruges.
They did smack them, but they also conceded, and their defense hasn't been great. I mean, I think they conceded. It was an own goal, but
It's a little bit leaky though.
They're not as proficient defensively as your Van Dijk and Matip combo.
Yeah, which was actually Van Dijk Konate sometimes as well.
Yeah, it was, but
no, that's fair enough. So let's just sum this up with where does it leave Ollie? What's going to happen?
It leaves Ollie having to get a result against City to not be sacked in the international break.
Is 7 points out of 9 a good return?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Is 5 a good enough return?
No.
But it's 2 draws and a win, which you'd take at the start of the week, wouldn't you? Especially considering the personnel.
Look, without context, right? Without context, you say you've got Tottenham, Atalanta, and City this week. You get 5 points.
Is good, yeah.
I'd have said yeah at the beginning of the season, but now I'm saying no because we've been so shit leading up to it. You need the points. You can't.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So okay, so what's happening? Where does it leave it? So it leaves him with needing a win against City.
You need to beat City.
It has to be a win, no matter what. It doesn't matter. You could play awfully. You just need to win.
Look, I think even if we win, there's a chance he goes. But it's really difficult to tell until this game happens. I think come back to me at 2:30 on Saturday, and I'll let you know.
Oh my God, yeah, it's on Saturday, isn't it? I keep thinking it's on Sunday.
Yeah, it's at 12:30. Oh, it's awful.
It's just like they can't go smashed beforehand.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chelsea beat Malmo last night as well. Kind of an irrelevant result. Chelsea should be been in that game. They obviously not convincingly enough. A couple of other results. I think Bayern won, Barcelona won, but we're not going to go into them because I just haven't watched them this season.
You got the Liverpool game right. You got 2-0.
I got it right, and I watched it all today. And it was a great first half. It was amazing to watch Diego Simeone and Atletico completely lose their heads. There was about 10 minutes where it was like every one of their players could have been sent off.
Yeah.
And then Felipe got sent off.
I think I watched that 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was it.
Felipe could have got sent. I mean, he got sent off. I mean, the challenge on its own is a bit like if that goes to VAR, they look at that and go, hang on, they've just kicked him for no reason. Do you know what I mean?
It's never a red on that. But what I'm confused about is, right, so it's a yellow card for the tackle, right?
Is it 2 yellows and a red? Or
it should be 2 yellows and a red.
I think that the ref's gone, it's not your first foul. I'm fed up of this and I'm just going to make a point. Do you know what I mean? He's like, and
does he then get a 3 game instead of a 1 then?
I think it's just 1. Because I think that red cards are done on a base by game basis in the Champions League. So Wan-Bissaka got a 1 and then got 2 after the young boys. Yeah. So what? Why?
They reduced it to 1.
Yeah. So they just I didn't realise that. So they go like it's a 1 game.
Well, it's because De Bruyne stamped on someone's ankle and got a yellow card. So we went, hang on a minute.
Yeah, what's going on there? Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So I assume he'll only get a 1. He might get a 2 for dissent because I mean it might be making a mockery, a point of Atletico and going, you can't get away with it anymore. Do you know what I mean? So that might be it. But I mean, again, actually, we were in control of the game. Even if they had 11, we'd have still won it. We'd have probably scored more because they had to go back into their shell completely like a tortoise. They just completely shrunk and went, what's going on? Mane was electric. I think potentially the worst player for Liverpool on the pitch, and it wasn't even bad, was probably Salah. He just didn't get into it as much as he could have tonight. Jota was really good. Mane was good. Henderson was phenomenal. Fabinho again, obviously really good. Ox was good. We played Costa Simicas, who was good. Van Dijk and Matip just solid, and Alisson didn't really have much to do. And then Trent's just Trent. He played an unbelievable pass to the first goal and then set out the second with a really misplaced shot that ended up falling perfectly in place for Sadio Mane. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. There's not much more to talk about. McManaman was going, it's a shame that about the red card, you haven't got to see the 2 teams at their best going at each other. And I was kind of like, but
Griezmann got sent off in the last game. It's still,
but also like Atletico can't keep getting away with it. Like they were just 2 up for it, and it was inevitable at some point. They're just going to implode, and they did. And I'm surprised it was only 1 red because there was still about 10 minutes between after it, 10 minutes beforehand. That looked like they were just going to kick lumps out of everyone. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not much more to say on Liverpool. We'll talk about the 2 games coming up this weekend that are quite big in terms of the title and whatever you want to say there. The last result that I want to mention is PSG. Obviously, PSG City obviously smacked Bruges at home. Kind of relevant, but again, they're going to qualify.
It's 4-1 a smacking. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think it is.
All right, fair.
Anyway, moves on to the weekend. So as we've already mentioned, Manchester United versus Man City, and then Liverpool versus West Ham are probably the two biggest games of the weekend. Chelsea are playing Burnley, and I mentioned that's a team that Chelsea need to kind of shut up shop quite quickly against. So maybe we just touch on that quickly.
Hang on quickly. I need to make a quick firework pun. If Aston Villa don't beat Southampton, then there's going to be fireworks in that boardroom. Say that.
There is. I think he's gone actually if they don't win.
Yeah, I do too.
Which is interesting, but anyway.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I needed the Guy Fawkes pun.
Yeah. Chelsea versus Burnley. I mean, I've already just said probably not going to be much more than a Chelsea win. I'm going to predict a 1-0 Chelsea there.
No.
Oh, bloody hope so, mate. Bloody hope so. And then again, as we said, the big game of the weekend, 12:30 on Saturday, Manchester United versus Manchester City. Talk us through your thoughts straight away.
Look, it's at Old Trafford, which means nothing. So the pressure is still on Man United to get the result, right? Because City, as much as they lost their last league game, are still. I mean, Pep said during the week that he feels like they're playing the best football they've played under him. I mean, that could just be Pep speaking out of his ass because he does often. But I do think they're playing really well. Bruges aren't an easy team to break down. I mean, PSG really struggled, and they've beaten them. We're without our best defender. Our captain is a shambles of a defender at the moment. He's really reluctant to play Eric Bailly in the league because he's a good defender, but he's also mental.
And he's injury prone as well, isn't he? It's kind of preserving his minutes at some point.
Lindelof might be fit, that'd be all right. He's cooler. He's a cooler head than Eric Bailly is.
Lindelof, Bailly and Maguire wouldn't be disastrous, would it? Let's be honest.
Look, it's not ideal. I can actually see him going back to a back four.
He probably will,
because he doesn't have unless he plays Alex Telles and shoves Luke Shaw back in centre back, because he has played there before and he's quite good at it.
For sure.
But Telles isn't brilliant. I mean, he hasn't played since he scored that goal against Villarreal, which is really tight because look, when you play, you've got to take your opportunity, and he did, and he hasn't played.
He did, yeah.
I hope we go back to a back four, actually, so we can see some wingers play. That'd be nice.
But anyway, sorry, as you said about Pep saying City are playing well, they are, but as we know, there are points to be taken off them, and it feels like a game that there's definitely points to be taken off City in.
Unlike Liverpool, I think we will score against them, because Ronaldo seems to want to play at the moment.
Yeah, he's really up for it, isn't he?
Rashford's actually been really good since he came back from injury. He wasn't as great up front yesterday as he has been on the wing, potentially. So I hope we do go back to a four. It means Bruno can... Well, Bruno's been great this whole season, actually. Everyone's going on about how Ronaldo coming in has taken Bruno out of that limelight, and it has.
It's just taken the goal scoring burden off him.
It's taken the goal scoring off him, but he's got 14 goals and assists in 16 games this season, and he's they showed some stats. They were meant to be. I don't know why they did this on Sky last week. They were showing these stats, and they were before Ronaldo and after Ronaldo, and it was his goals per game and chances created per game. He's creating 5 chances a game this season, which is fucking nuts, by the way.
That's so good.
But he's just not scoring, which is fine. Yeah. He's a midfielder.
Doesn't need to.
Still,
it's playing quite deep as well. So
yeah. So I'd like us to go back to a 4. Go back to what we've been playing. It's how we've beaten City before. I do think we'll lose though. I say 3-1 to City.
You know what? I'm gonna be controversial, and I'm gonna go 2-1 United.
Ooh, I like it.
I think you're going to turn up. I think you will. You've got to. And as you said, Ronaldo's up for it, and I'm sure he can get the dressing room behind him. And all
I think
concentrate for 90 minutes, which sounds easier said than done. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Ronaldo, isn't it? Let's be honest. Probably having Pogba out of the situation is probably a bit easier. Makes Ole's selection a lot easier for him.
He's definitely resting Fred as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's it's a game, as I said, City dropping points against Palace, desperate to pick them up, could leave them a bit exposed. We know there's goals against them. We know there's points to be picked up. So yeah, I mean, it's the perfect storm for a United win. I've said that
If Jack Grealish scores, I'm going to lose my shit. I just thought about that.
I've recently said this a lot. There's a perfect storm for everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said it was a perfect storm for Watford to beat Liverpool, perfect storm for other scenarios, and I think this is a perfect storm for you to grab all 3 points. And Jack Grealish to score just to annoy you. So,
mate, things will be
Jack
thrown if he's got that. I might not even be allowed to be in the flat.
You don't want him to win to score first. You want to be 2-0 up, 86th.
No, we play better when people score first. I hope they go 2-0 up.
I hope they don't, because if they do, they're going to score 10. But anyway, it leads us on to the last game of the weekend that kind of has much significance, which is Liverpool West Ham. I was a little bit worried about this game until we played tonight.
You've been bigging them up, mate. You're bigging West Ham up.
Until we play tonight. I don't think we're going to batter them.
I do.
But I think that tonight's performance is enough to suggest to me that we will win, because we went in a few changes. We had a few injuries tonight, actually. Firmino went off. Oxlade-Chamberlain went off injured. So our midfield is picked for the weekend. Our attack is picked for the weekend. It's just the issue of, does he play Van Dijk, Konate? Does he go Van Dijk, Matip? And is he going to go with Kostas Tsimikas over Robertson again?
Whoever can header the ball away as many times as there is corners.
Exactly. So it's kind of going to come down to that, which I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm not going to even predict that, because it literally could even be Joe Gomez. It could be Nat Phillips.
He was massive against them. He's probably the reason you won that game last season.
Exactly. Anyway, there you go. But West Ham, I think they're good. They are good. But I think coming off a Europa League away day, Genk, if they win it, they'll be high, which could play into our hands, because there's going to be a feel good. They're going to think they can beat us. It's at the London Stadium, all of this stuff. Again, perfect storm for us.
Got an extra day off as well.
Exactly. We've got a nice extra day off. West Ham are good. Moisey's doing a great job, but I think we're going to have enough. I think we're going to sneak it. No, we're not sneak it. 2-0 again. I'm going to go 2-0. It's a horrible scoreline at the moment. We've had 2-0s where we've been 2-0 up. Teams brought it back to 2-2, all of this sort of thing. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win at the London Stadium. We like going there. Maybe 3-0. I don't know, but I fancy 2.
I think 3-0.
I fancy 2. Just don't concede, clean sheet, come into the international break, get those players fit again, come back, big games before Christmas.
I think 3-0 Liverpool. I think you're just too big for them. Look, they've played well this season, don't get me wrong. They beat Spurs, who were atrocious.
They weren't great in that game either.
No, that's what I mean. They were just awful. They were as bad in that game as they were against us.
No, I mean West Ham weren't great either.
Oh, well, they still won, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then they can't afford to be anything other than brilliant against Liverpool. And I don't think they have enough to challenge. No, so
the Brighton game worried me because.
What did you say, by the way?
I said I'm going to go 2-0 because of the defensive frailties. It worried me a bit. The kind of like mishap of the midfield, but having Fabinho back is massive. He's back now. He played 60 today. Came off. Thiago came on for the last 30. They're both probably going to start in midfield. Mm-hmm. Bit of composure in there. Do you know what I mean? Nice, easy, nice getting on the ball, moving it around, because that's where West Ham are winning a lot of the games at the moment. Declan Rice is playing really well, winning the ball, driving forward. But if Thiago loses it, Fabinho sweeps up. But Thiago doesn't lose it very often. It is my kind of thought process behind this.
Yeah.
Keep it. Don't let them have it. Don't let them drive at you is kind of where I'm going with this. So, yeah, it brings to a close another week of football, that does. Obviously, we will review it next week at some point. We may have another special episode next week due to the fact it's an international break. But we might.
We can talk about something fun.
Yeah, fun. But we will do that. We'll have to think about which one. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe put a poll out. If we get 4 votes, we know that there's interest.
Yeah, if we put like 3 things on a poll, as long as you get 4 votes, one of them will have a majority.
3 things. Yes. Good point. So yeah, we'll do that. Thank you very much for joining me again.
No worries. It's a lot of fun.
On a Wednesday. It is fun.
I do love a little pod.
We've definitely gained some nice viewership as well. got a lot of engagement on the last couple of podcasts, so we need to keep
actually
that up.
putting it on Facebook was a banging idea. I got a few people that I was surprised.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I'm just hoping that we can keep that engagement. And as I said, 25 stars before Christmas. We're on 14, 9 to go.
Look, next episode is number 10, and that's mental. Like, if you'd have told me, I was about to start singing Bo Burnham. When we started this, that we get to 10 episodes, I'd have told you that that's not going to happen, because every time we've done this before, no chance. But
it would be perfect 10 episode to get back on Facebook and go listen to our favorite five-a-side team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's going to be a perfect episode to put on Facebook. But if you have listened this way, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it again. Let everyone know. Follow us on Twitter.
Send it to Instagram. Your dad and say these guys talk about football.
Yeah,
for about an hour.
They talk like you do about football. No, I'm joking. But follow us on @FootyChatShow on Twitter and Instagram. We'll get a Facebook page going soon. We'll get a TikTok page going soon. We've been back at uni, so we've just had to figure that out for the last few weeks. But once we're back into it, we'll get TikTok and we'll get some clips going. We'll get some shorter clips on the channel and stuff like that. Depending on the games, we might be able to do 10-minute reactions immediately after a game. Who knows? We'll look into that in the coming days.
Start recording myself during United games. That'll be funny.
Mark Goldbridge-esque. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, Jamie.
No, cheers. Thank you, mate.
We will get this out as soon as possible. Get everyone talking. Nice one, mate. Speak to you later. See you later, everybody.
Cheers.